Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Marks YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify. Just search for Curtain Jerkin. You can check me out on Apple Music if you'd like to as well. I'm here to talk about AEW Dynamite, but before I do that, I want to jump into Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. They had a bit of a stare down. I don't know really. I know they call it something different in boxing. I don't think it was technically a weigh-in, but it was just where they, hold up their fist and stare at each other, to promote the fight more or less. And Jake Paul started kind of fucking with Nate Diaz a little bit here, and I thought this was interesting too because it played into a little bit of their dynamic. Jake Paul is an older brother, so he's a little bit of a troll fucking with Nate Diaz, who I think is the younger brother in his famous brother fighting duo. And he kind of took the bait a little bit there. He's like, I'm not gonna let you fuck with me. And then he was like, oh, come on, man. And then Jake Paul stopped screwing around, and that kind of showed you the dynamics of who they are as people, big brother, little brother dynamics. And it also showed you who they are as fighters. Jake Paul likes to kind of antagonize his opponent, where Nate Diaz doesn't do a lot of that but shuts him up when need be. So it was pretty interesting in that little bit to see a lot of what is at play here. This fight is going to be amazing come August. I'm super excited about it. Jake Paul, one of the hottest heels in wrestling right now. I'd put him up there with I would put him up there with Grayson Waller. I'd put him up there with MJF, Jay White pre AEW run. But speaking of AEW, let's dive right into it. I mean, Miro seen for the first time in months, maybe a year even, going into Tony Khan's office. And then later on the show, Thunder Rosa went into Tony Khan's office. Tony Khan had an announcement that he was going to make an announcement. The announcement was that there was an announcement coming up. The big announcement was that there was a big announcement coming later on next week. It's already kind of leaked. It's already kind of been heavily rumored. There's another show coming out. Apparently they got like a $1 billion deal, like legitimately $1 billion for a new show. People are somehow mad at CM Punk for getting this $1 billion. I can't really figure that part of the leaked story out, but nonetheless, sorry for the spoiler, but that's what the announcement about the announcement was. That's what the announcement about the announcement is going to announce, if that makes any sense, I guess. MJF with kind of a confessional style promo comparing the Pillars to the Beatles here. He doesn't miss with these things. This was really good. This is the best thing about this program, was these kind of vignettes here. But I do feel like this program is more pulling him down, in comparison to how he was at the beginning of the year with this Bryan Danielson match that he was in and everything. He's not really pulling these guys up, but what can you do? Sammy Guevara hype video was sick. Jericho and Ty Conti talking. Like I said, the match is going to be good here. The match is going to be good. Darby video package still is at home, which was pretty interesting, but it looks like he's, I guess, the breadwinner here, since the whole thing seems to be a big skate park. Sick little young, lean type beat playing in the background of this one. Jungle Boy promo. He seems like a really cool dude, but kind of boring as a pro wrestler. I can't really explain it. Like, his charisma that you can see that he has, his charm, doesn't really come across in the world of pro wrestling in the traditional wrestling sense. It's kind of interesting to see. It's interesting to think about. But, I mean, I don't think he's good on the mic. I'll just say that. Mox versus Omega feud retrospective was pretty sick in the middle of this show. This was a really good Dynamite from start to finish. FDR asked Mark Briscoe to come out. Then, the TNA faction comes out. Mark comes out a little later with a contract. He's going to be the special guest referee. And with this special news, he wants everyone to do a toast. And then Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, like the assholes they are, get the liquor and the alcohol in the eyes of FTR, Dax Harwood starts swinging. He accidentally hits Mark Briscoe in the scuffle. Not a good look for the guy who's going to be the referee come May 28th. Visibly annoyed here, Jay Briscoe was, but a really good angle here. Detroit hates Christian Cage. He's getting booed vociferously. I hope I said that correctly. Getting Edge's better chance as he's just going on and on the mic. Cage is underrated on the mic. He's kind of grown into this character quite well. If you've seen Jurassic Park from like the summer blockbuster of last year, there's a character that reminds me exactly of Christian Cage's character, and he's complete with a dinosaur in his corner here. So that's pretty interesting. I bet if you were able to talk candidly with Christian Cage, he would mention the influence that movie had on this role, or in this that role had on this character. But let's break it down, guys. 5 big matches on Dynamite. We're ranking all of them from worst to first, but they were all pretty fucking good. Julia Hart versus Anna Jay, no holds barred match, trash cans, kendo sticks. Anna Jay drops Hart onto a pile of chairs on the outside. In the ring, 1-2, no. Julia Hart almost superplex Anna Jay onto a pile of chairs. They kind of miss it, but then she locks in the STF. Anna Jay taps out. This was clunky but fun match. Didn't overstay its welcome by any means. It's these women's hardcore matches I'm a fan of in AEW. Number 4 out of 5 was the trios match. This was interesting too. Open house rules. I like this. I like this a lot. 20 count on the outside. This didn't really come into play on this match, but hopefully they do this match again. No rope breaks. DQs are a thing. I don't know why they had to state that, but you can get disqualified in this match. And then the arena was dimly lit, which makes it look cool as hell. Best Friends and Bandito versus House of Black. Trent and Buddy battling to see who's the most underutilized in this company. Buddy picking Bandito out of the air with a big knee. Dante's Inferno, though, boom, connects. 1, 2, 3. Chucky T eats the pin, and House of Black gets the victory. Number 3, making the podium. Double Jeopardy match. The Curtain Jerker, Claudio versus Phoenix. The ROH Tag Champion versus the ROH World Champion. If Phoenix win, he gets a title shot, which it sucks that he doesn't get one right then and there. But if Claudio wins, a partner of his choosing can battle the Lucha Bros in a tag team championship match. Why isn't this match on Ring of Honor? Who cares? This is awesome to see. Phoenix takes Claudio to the outside, dives, and then goes again, gets caught in a press slam in midair. Love the term midair. It's like, if it's not in midair, it's called picking it up. Just saying that he caught him is saying he caught him in midair. But if you want to add emphasis to the catch, you say caught him in midair. I love that shit. Phoenix launched into the crowd, tosses him off the top. 1-2. Phoenix kicks out. Moonsault to the floor. Code Red. 1-2. Claudio kicks out. Ricola Bomb. 1-2. 3. Claudio gets the victory. And then number 2. This match was pretty good, man. Cassidy doesn't miss in the year 2023. Orange Cassidy versus Garcia. Garcia dancing. I love his dancing because it's just so weird and silly. You can tell that he, in the pro wrestling sense, thinks he's really cool by doing this fucking weird ass dance. It's like, I don't know how you would describe this shit, but then I look over at my girlfriend who usually doesn't watch wrestling, and she's disgusted by it. Later on in the match, Taz mentions that this is some weird, bizarre dancing. It's weird. It's bizarre. I don't know. I can't really put I enjoy it for some weird reason. So I guess keep doing it, man. Get over with your dancing, man. Cassidy smoothly getting out of the drop toe hold was nice. Garcia getting the upper hand. Superplex, roll through, sloppy stun dog. The announcers had it kind of covered up here. Garcia goes after the leg. Dragon Tamer gets out. Garcia Sports entertains a little too much here. Dancing around a little too much. Gets caught. 1, 2, 3. Champ steals one. But this was kind of a one-match show. I mean, the body of this undercard was good, but goddamn was this main event good. The spectacle of it all. They were showing the cage throughout the show. They were showing the highlight package. These are like the the two original big names in AEW before Punk, before Bryan. I mean, Jericho was signed, but I would say these guys were main eventing when Jericho was just kind of forming that faction. But this is great. Omega versus Mox steel cage match. Number one match on Dynamite for the evening. Mox attacks Omega before the bell. Elite and Blackpool Combat Club battle on the ramp. Kenny gets in the ring. He's like, come on, motherfucker. I wanted you in the ring. Fuck, they're battling on top of the ramp. We're battling in the ring. They get in the ring. Chops heard around Detroit. Detroit wooing. Steel chair wrapped in barbed wire comes into play. What the fuck is this doing under the ring? Detroit is a crazy city. Mox slams Omega into the cameraman. This was a really nice shot. Superplex onto the barbed wire chair wrapped in barbed wire, whatever. Turnbuckle comes loose from the post. Mox choking Omega with the rope. Broken glass comes into play. Omega with a V-trigger, putting Mox through the fucking cage, through the fucking sadistic steel structure known as the cage in this cage match, allowing people to get in. Who gets in other than Don Callis? Omega's buddy gets in, distracts Mox, one winged angel, and then Don Callis with the screwdriver in hand, hits his good friend, screws his good friend over with the screwdriver. What an asshole. 1, 2, 3. Mox gets the victory. Don Callis is no William Regal, but goddamn is he a good guy to have in your corner. The invisible hand now is gripping a screwdriver for Blackpool Combat Club, and he is not afraid to use it. Man, what a Dynamite. What a fucking Dynamite. I mean, I remember the first time Dynamite had a cage match, Cody did a giant moonsault off of it onto Wardlow. The second time they had a big cage match like this, Thunder Rosa beat Britt Baker in an epic title match, and I think that was the peak of AEW's women's division as a whole, was that match. And then here, Don Callis screws over Kenny Omega, and I think looks to be joining Blackpool Combat Club. Holy hell. When there's a cage match in AEW Dynamite, do not miss it. This was a great show. They needed to step it up. They stepped it up big time with this show. Everything was great. The video packages were great. The promo setting up the match with Mark Briscoe was great. The matches themselves were good. I mean, even the last match on the show was good. All killer, no filler. You hear Sum 41, they're breaking up. This was, I think, paying homage to Sum 41's second album, All Killer, No Filler, with this Dynamite, because it was all killer, no filler. I'll say it again, all killer, no filler, this Dynamite. 10 out of fucking 10 would recommend. God damn, do I love pro wrestling. Fly high. I'm out.